If y'all MFs are really just gonna keep doing stupid crap anyways, I might as well help make those decisions slightly less stupid and slightly less crappy. Here are 4 ways to improve bad car spending habits. Pay in 4 is way better than financing mods. At the end of the day, I don't support financing mods. I think it's really stupid. While I don't like pay in 4 that much either, it is actually a lot smarter and a lot better. Pay in 4 has no interest. It usually still has late fees and other punishments because duh, that's what you get. You still need some responsibility with this as you would with financing mods. Now you're probably wondering if there are any strings attached to this, like how can something like this exist and possibly be beneficial? I'll tell you how this has no interest and why it's still beneficial for vendors. So for vendors and sellers, think of it this way. A lot of people these days, they have horrible money management skills. Like I said, a carbon fiber hood, if that costs like $1,500 for most cars, you know, $1,000 to $1,500, even $3,000 for my car, that's a lot of money for people to have to save up towards. But what if you gave them the option to only give you a quarter of the price of that item, and then they only had to do that for the next 3 months? So 1/4 for the first time, and then 1/4, 1/4, 1/4. A lot more people who wouldn't be able to buy certain mods or visit certain vendors can now actually afford to buy those mods or visit those vendors. That helps the business, because if I was a company selling a $3,000 carbon fiber hood, I wouldn't get many people walking in through my door, you know? Even online wise, I wouldn't get too many people visiting my website because that's an expensive item. But if I made the option to pay it in 4, a lot of people who have lower income or just have terrible money management skills can now actually buy that item because now they can budget for it. This is also an easy way to trick your wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, I don't discriminate. You can trick them into not knowing the value of the mods you bought, because it's a lot harder to track for payments than it is one big one, if you see where I'm getting at here. That way they may have just thought that you spent $250 more each month, not knowing that you actually bought a $1,000 car mod. Boom, big brain, you know? I don't know about this one. This is still kind of I know people who use pay in 4 solely for this reason, by the way, to trick their wives or so on and so forth. You're walking on glass there. You never, you know, your wife's gonna look at your car and be like, why is it different each time? Eventually they might catch on, but you know, I guess if that's what you also want to use it for, you can use it for that. Buying used parts is always a better option than buying cheap brand new parts from AliExpress or unreliable low quality replica parts. The most beat up used set of real wheels is still going to be way stronger than a brand new replica set. The terrible fitting body kits, splitters, aero, ground effects, and so on and so forth that you can buy off AliExpress, they're just save yourself all the sanding, the drilling, or even, because sanding right can only fix items if they're too big. If items are too small, then you have to start putting Bondo or putty and then trying to fit it in between the panel gaps and then trying to paint over it, you know, sand that down and blah blah blah. It's a nightmare. A lot of those cheap parts have awful fitment, and I've seen an abundance of these parts affect the community recently because I'm seeing a lot of awful looking body kits with terrible fitment on people's cars these days, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, or even TikTok. Look, Facebook Marketplace and eBay are extremely underrated heroes. One man's trash is another man's treasure, right? I think it's a genius idea to buy lightly used parts, which you can find plenty on eBay and Facebook Marketplace for sometimes 60-70% of the original cost, and they just might have a couple of scratches, maybe a ding. Who cares? You know, you're getting a huge discount for a part. You might even negotiate them down to the point it's half the price you would have paid new. And compared to buying a crappy replica or reps from freaking AliExpress or wherever the heck brand new, it doesn't matter. I mean, the only reason people don't buy used parts really is because they're scared of social interaction, because instead of buying from a faceless vendor, you have that DM people and DM the seller and possibly even visit them locally and actually pick up the parts and put them in your trunk, or just check them out obviously to make sure they're good. That's not a downside in my opinion. The hobby of cars is not meant for shut-in neats or die-hard otakus. For crying out loud, you need to touch grass, because a key step of growing as a car enthusiast is that you're going to socialize with people anyways, because quite literally liking cars means that you bare minimum have to go outside to drive said car, because cars is an outdoor hobby, right? I at least hope it is. Like, I hope you're not sitting indoors and dying of carbon monoxide poisoning in your garage. Obviously, the key caveat to that is yes, there are still some sketchy people on Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, and even eBay. Be vigilant and always bring a friend along if you're going locally. If you aren't going locally and you're gonna visit somewhere distant and you don't feel comfortable going there, don't do it, alright? Never put yourself in a situation where you talk to someone or go somewhere that you don't otherwise feel comfortable doing, right? Just be patient until another part does show up locally. I will always support buying a used used component from a reputable brand instead of buying a crappy part from a very unreputable brand new. Refinancing for better APR is always a better decision than trying to finish your current loan on bad APR. So if you financed a car and you have a very meme-worthy, stupidly high rate, I'm talking $14.99, $18.99, or even $29.99, look, your life isn't over, and those memes, they don't have to burn into your mind and seep into your dreams, right? I'm dead serious when I talk about this each and every time, and I always have some moron in my comments trying to make sorry excuses. If you're at 29% 99 APR and you're trying to puff your chest out at me, you're taking it from behind, getting your cheeks absolutely clapped, balls deep from the bank. You're trying to spite me when the bank is your real enemy? Oh, I know why you can't hate them, because they're the only reason you have a Hellcat Challenger in your garage and you can even make those fake ass Instagram posts, trying to act like you living it up when you broke as You ain't ever looking tough if you got the bank that deep in you, man. If you have that high of interest, it does not equate to 30. I've made a whole video about this. Basically, in a nutshell, if you don't want to watch that video, but I highly recommend you do, 29% APR on car loans does not mean 30% of the list price. It means 200% of the list price. You are paying double. A 20 grand loan can become a 40 grand loan on 29.99% APR. It is a compounding interest. It is not simple interest. But basically, refinancing reduces your rates and it also reduces your payments, because what it does is it makes more of the money you pay each month go to principal and less to interest. Principal is the money that goes towards actually paying off the loan and owning the vehicle. Interest is literally direct profit that the bank makes. Now you see why the loan sharks like giving you guys high interest rates. And now you see why reputable banks can lower your interest rate, because they can afford and earn less profit because they have more customers, right? If you have less customers, you usually charge them more per product because you need more money from them in order to break even. Or let's just be real, it could even be greediness. I can try to explain how loan sharks work, but really just boils down to greediness and the fact that if people are dumb enough to sign 29% APR on a Dodge Challenger Hellcat, that they're going to let you do it anyways. The final entry on this video is that understanding credit is always better than just using a car loan for credit. I have a lot of people who constantly comment, especially in my financial video, they go, "Hey Bladed, was that grocery thing you actually said true?" It basically is. I am not lying. You can see a lot of financial channels that will tell you the same thing and prove you the same thing, and as someone who's done it in real life, it does work, and anyone else who's done it in the comments, you can tell me it works too. A lot of people, the bad habit they have is, "Hey, I don't want to refinance my car loan," or "Hey, I want to use a car loan to build credit." Do not do that. Car loans also tank your credit a decent amount. They usually tank you 40, 50, even 60 points. And again, if you're really in over your head, you're going to lose 100 points, the same way college kids can lose 200 points when they take their first loan. So what you instead should do is you should just not use cars as a way to build credit. In fact, you should try to buy a car once you already have good credit. Just spend your credit card on cheap things. Credit agencies care about how big a loan is to take away your points. They do not care about how big a loan is to build your points. They don't care if you're paying $300 monthly back to them or $50 monthly back to them. So a $400 or $500 or even an $800 car payment to them doesn't build your credit any faster than buying $50 of grocery each month with them. Credit agencies care about consistency and responsibility of payments, not the amount of the payment. They only care about the amount of the overall loan when it comes to deducting your points. So literally you can only hurt yourself by using cars to build loans. So it's crazy how car interest rates have gone up substantially since Gen X and boomers, because a lot of people don't just do a they lost common sense. They get starry-eyed and they let internet clout become more important than their actual money that they have on hand. They like to act like they have more money than they really have, so they start going to banks and getting these dumb loans. A lot of people don't know how credit works clearly in these younger generations. I still get tons of stupid comments. So the one comment I answered, or rather the many comments I answered, is that yes, buying groceries is just as effective as paying off a car loan. In fact, it's more effective because you don't get the initial point loss that you would with a car loan as opposed to buying groceries. Another really dumb comment I get is someone's like, "How did this guy start with 400 credit? What a liar. He doesn't even know how credit works." Congratulations, you're a trust fund baby. If your parents pay all the loans for you in your life or co-sign everything for you in life, it is possible to start off 18 years old with a 720 or even 780 credit score. But guess what? Not all of us have that sort of rich person luxury or even middle class luxury. There are people, like I came from a lower middle income family. Because of that, I had to take my own student loans, and because of that, I tanked my credit instantly as an 18-year-old. That's why in the video, when I demonstrate credit, I talk about me starting with 400. That's not because I'm irresponsible and instantly bought a 100 grand supercar or something stupid like that comment was trying to say. No, moron, I took 100 grand student loan debt like a lot of people unfortunately are taking these days, okay? And if you're stuck in that very realistic scenario, there are ways to just slowly build yourself out of it. Just buy groceries each month, like I said, and don't buy an overly expensive car as your first car. You really don't want to buy your dream car first. A lot of people hate to hear that for some reason, but look, you're gonna end up slamming your dream car into a tree anyways. A lot of you guys have dream cars that are way faster than you can handle, so just be patient. That's really the motto of this video, is be patient. You can still live it up, and there's still shortcuts in the car enthusiast community you can use, but there are better shortcuts that still involve some patience. Like pay in 4, I'm not gonna lie, if you're buying a $3,000 item, you still need to have like $700-ish each month for it. There are some people who are like, oh, I want a $3,000 item, but I just don't even have $700 for it, so I only want to pay $130 for it, and then pay that over years. And that breaks my heart, man. Like, look, I'm gonna stop my lecturing here. This is the best I can do, and I hope it does actually help some of you guys. And if you have done some bad habits and you can't stop those bad habits, if your Sony's already financed mods, next time do the pay in 4. Set goals in your life. Please become a better person. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something from this video. If you don't know anything at all, this should help you in the future. If you enjoy cars and more automotive content, make sure to subscribe. Make sure to like this video if it really helped you. Make sure to share this video to a friend who you know it's gonna help them, or to just roast them if you know that they have bad financial spending habits and you just want to use this as a, hey, guess what, man? Like a little punch on the shoulder, like, this video's for you. Other than that, though, thanks for watching, and see y'all next time. Bladed Angel out.